This video will walk you through a basic Vinyasa flow of yoga. Ashtanga Vinyasa yoga is considered a modern-day form of classical Indian yoga. While postures take much practice and patience to do them correctly, do not force any poses. Yoga is about listening to your body and going at your own pace to avoid any injury. It takes time to master the technique. Try not to get frustrated and let your mind and body relax. The first asana, or posture, in this Vinyasa flow is Tadasana, or mountain pose. With this pose, you can address issues with the knees, hips, ankles, and low back. Balance your weight on the front and back of your feet and squeeze your thighs together. Point your tailbone straight down and expand your belly. Palms will face forward and try to keep your chin level to the ground. On your next inhale, lift your hands up and overhead. As you exhale to forward fold, think of bending from the hip joints and reaching as far through the fingertips as you can. Let your hands trace down behind your ankles. Straighten out the legs, but go slow. From here, you'll find plank posture. Place your hands down to the ground and step your feet back to the top of plank. Plank supports your core strength and therefore strengthens the backbone. And from plank, we move to chaturanga, which is a halfway down pose. Try to keep your body parallel to the ground. Next, come all the way to the belly for cobra. Cobra will tone the abdomen and any uterine or ovarian issues. Position the hands down firmly and lift the upper body. Expand through the shoulders. Try to keep the neck long. You're compressing the upper back, squeezing the vertebrae together. Up dog is similar to cobra, but straighten the arms and lift your hips away from the mat. Then shift to down dog. Try to place your feet about hips distance to start and lift the heels away from the mat. Eventually, you want to let the heels settle down on the mat and lengthen through the back of the legs after some practice. Step forward into Warrior 1. This is great for stretching through the groins and ankles. Strengthening the arms by lifting the arms up and overhead. Find Warrior 1 on both sides of the body in order to keep balance. Shift into chair pose, lowering your bottom as if you're sitting or lowering yourself into an imaginary chair. Drop the bottom back and down and try to keep your knees right over the ankles. Lift arms up and overhead. This posture helps increase the length of your spine in order to strengthen your core muscles, shoulders, and back. From here, we shift down to the ground for Sarvangasana, or shoulder stand. Gently roll onto the back and get your hands underneath you. Let your feet come up and over your head first, and then shift your shoulders under you, one and then the other. Then find your hands on your lower back. Let your legs up to the sky. This posture is great for reversing the blood flow in the body. It helps for thyroid and parathyroid issues by recirculating the blood and pulling down around your nervous system and heart, compressing the endocrine gland. Lastly, you find the fish, or Matsyasana pose. Lay on your back and press through the elbows and hands. Hands should reach down toward the ankles. Open the chest towards the sky and breathe in as deeply as possible. Expand the lungs. This posture is good for asthma symptoms and relaxes the bronchioles. It is also a good stimulator for the thyroid and parathyroid glands. To finish the flow, you want to lay in Savasana, or corpse pose. Lay on your back, palms up facing the sky. Just breathe. Be conscious of your breathing. Relax.